Are you buying something? Sir, are you buying something? No? Okay, well then you're gonna have to leave. Oh, you want to use our bathroom? No, I'm gonna need you to unplug that laptop over there. If you ain't buying nothing, you gotta go. Yeah, you have to buy something in order to sit here and use our electricity. Sounds pretty fair, right? I think so. Of course, you know the world. There are people who are really upset about Starbucks' decision to roll back its near decade-long policy, their open door policy that would allow you to come and sit inside of their restaurants, buy nothing, use their electricity, and have meetings with your friends and family members. So let's just take a listen to this news report because I want you all to hear this. Roll it.
Starbucks is rolling out new changes to its cafes in North America aimed at improving the safety and experience for guests and staff. The company is reversing what has been 7 years, a nearly 7-year-old policy that allowed people to linger or use the bathroom regardless of whether they were purchasing something. And, you can imagine what was going on. New code of conduct signs will say that cafes, patios, and restrooms are for customers, those accompanying them, and employees. I mean, it almost became a place to clean up and, use the facilities.
That was part of the issue.
People were taking off their clothes and, basically showering in the sink and, shooting up, and I mean, it's just, nobody needs.
They wanted to be an open and welcoming place. The cafes have always been a place where somebody gets a cup of coffee and maybe stays around and
works. That was the whole idea of a third place.
Right. It stays around and works for the day, but clearly when you send out the message that it's open to all and you can use it anytime you want.
It's going to be abused.
We've seen, there was the naked guy in the Starbucks right across the street here who...
It's a naked guy this morning right outside, or at least he was naked long enough to do whatever he had to do.
This morning?
Downstairs, yeah. We have a bathroom right at the entrance. Unfortunately, it's not actually a bathroom, but it's a little alcove.
So let me talk a little bit about this because I'm one of those people who had zero problem with the fact that Starbucks decided to reverse its open door policy. I know a lot of companies are very well intentioned and they want to be very inclusive and welcoming. Nothing wrong with that, except you're going to always have that sector of people who abuse such kindness, abuse these policies. You're going to have folks who say, oh, that's so nice that Starbucks allows us to linger around. Let me at least buy a cup of coffee. Let me at least get a pastry. Let me get something to eat. Let me not just sit here, suck up their air condition, use their electricity, because some people will plug up their laptops, they'll plug up their phones. They got like 3 and 4 devices going on at one time that they're all charged up. How is Starbucks benefiting from that when you've inputted nothing, you've put nothing into their coffers, you've paid nothing, you've bought nothing? So I certainly understand that. And I'm a coffee drinker. I love my coffee. When I go to Starbucks, sometimes I want to sit inside, especially if I go into, let's just say, a Starbucks that's inside of a Barnes and Noble. I want to sit down sometimes and have my coffee and read a magazine that I've bought or read a book that I've bought, and there's no space whatsoever. And when you look around at the people who were sitting down, now granted, they could have eaten and drank their food and their drink before I came there. But I'm telling you, a good chunk of them, because sometimes I will see people just walk right in. They don't buy anything. They sit down and they take the space and they're not contributing to Starbucks. And then the people like me and you who are going in there and just want to relax a little bit with our coffee or our pastry, we have nowhere to sit. As regards to the bathroom situation, what they just said, absolutely 100% spot on. I have gone into Starbucks bathrooms and seen products in there that told me that someone was in there, taking a bath. And I understand that there are people who are homeless and they need somewhere to shower, but I don't know that it's appropriate to shower inside of a Starbucks bathroom. I just don't. And they don't, in many cases, at least in the cases for me, they don't leave it in a clean state. They don't say, oh, you know what, I'm already sneaking and taking a bath and cleaning myself up, so let me at least leave the spot clean. No, it's a mess. It's like water on the floor, water everywhere. It's disgusting. They use the toilet. They don't flush. And this is just for everybody, okay? People just come in there. They don't care. I've seen needles. Like people were either shooting up or whatever they were doing. I've seen needles. I've seen, what do you call those things? When you're trying to determine pregnancy tests. Pregnancy tests? Somebody doesn't want to go home and take that pregnancy test, so they go inside of the Starbucks bathroom. I've seen, and how can I say this in a nice way? I'm just gonna say it. I've seen feces on the wall. On the wall. Like you go and you're like, yes, thanks. And then you look on the wall and you see poop on the wall. On the wall. People are sick, they just smear it on the wall. Okay? So imagine the people who work for the Starbucks and they have to go and clean up this stuff. I'd be like, you ain't paying me enough for this. Blank. You ain't paying me enough for this. And it really affects the whole Starbucks experience. You're already paying for coffee that is not cheap. Okay? Now, I like Starbucks. I know y'all clown on Starbucks, but the coffee and the products are not cheap. This is not $1 coffee. So you want an experience when you're spending premium money for coffee, and to go into a restroom that is just a mess because any and everybody is going inside of it and doing whatever they want to do. It's just unheard of. It's crazy. And the people who are giving this backlash saying, oh, this is where I go to meet up with my friends. This is where I go to hang out. You can still go and hang out, but pay. Buy something. It's the least you can do. So Starbucks isn't winning. They're paying the money for the overhead costs and for electricity costs. And there are people who, instead of buying something, will ask for something. Hey, can I get a cup of water? The cup costs money. Okay? They got to pay for water too. I mean, it's not bottled water, but still you got to pay for water. Water ain't free. So the cup costs, the water costs, and sometimes people will bring their own coffee into Starbucks. That to me is crazy. I've seen people bringing their coffee from home into Starbucks. It's disrespectful. Someone should have been able to go over and say, ma'am, you cannot do that. No outside food in here. But when you do that, people, oh, you're targeting me. So the reason why I decided to do this video, and I think Starbucks needs to really roll out a serious campaign where this is on the news, not just on the news, but on commercials, radio commercials, TV commercials. Like, you're changing a policy that's almost a decade long. A lot of people are going to say, I wasn't aware of it. I didn't know about this. I just feel like they're picking on me because I'm insert whatever minority you want to. There are some companies that are probably watching eagle-eyed to see how this pans out for Starbucks, because if it pans out well, you better believe a lot of these restaurants and other coffee companies are going to be instituting the same thing if they aren't already. Because I know a lot of places are really, really tough on their customers and saying you cannot bring outside products inside, and not allowing, people to use the bathroom. So I know a lot of them are going to be watching. But like I said, it's unfair for you to just come up in there with your own food and your own drink and and sit there and mooch off of someone. So let me read. This is from CBS News. Let's see what they say here. So the coffee giant said that this new code of conduct, that's what they're calling it, will be posted in all company-owned North American stores, and will also ban discrimination or harassment, consumption of outside alcohol, smoking. People going in Starbucks and smoking, vaping, drug use, and panhandling. And it says the new rules reverse, of course, the open door policy put in place in 2018 after 2 black men were arrested in a Philadelphia Starbucks where they had gone for a business meeting. The incident at that individual store, which had a policy of asking non-paying customers to leave, was caught on video and was a major embarrassment for the company. Every time a company tries to take control of the reins, there's always natural pushback. But like I said earlier, I wanted to do this video because unless Starbucks rolls out a serious campaign to let the public know, and it's not going to be enough to just send it to CBS News and MSNBC and the newspapers, they're going to have to do some sort of like ad campaign to let people know, because if not, what they're going to find is somebody is going to come to the fore and say, oh, this person is discriminating against me. And I wonder how they're training their staff to handle this, because I find that, a lot of people are going to be, who are already accustomed to coming up in Starbucks, they're going to be pushing back, and the staff are the ones who are going to be on the front line of that abuse if they don't handle this properly. So they definitely need to do this. Let's see here. They say the change also comes under the new leadership of Brian Niccol, who was hired from Chipotle last year to revitalize the struggling coffee chain. One of the reasons why it's struggling is because ain't nobody paying for nothing. They're coming up in there and using your facility and they're not paying. Niccol has vowed to make Starbucks location inviting places to linger, with the goal of reestablishing the chain as the nation's community coffee house. And that's what Starbucks has always been, basically a community coffee house where you get together. But I don't know that I've ever just gone inside of a Starbucks. Something else I just remembered, it's not just the electricity, it's not just the products, the water, that sort of stuff, and the cups. Also, there's the Wi-Fi aspect. There are people who are logging on to the Wi-Fi and taking advantage of that. You see how a few people could just ruin it for everybody? Check this out. This is some good news. Starbucks said it's going to start offering free refills of hot or iced coffee on January 27th for customers who decide to stay in a store to drink their beverages. That's great news. I like that. Because if I ever wanted my hot coffee, I wonder if it's just like plain hot coffee, or if it's like you could get a caramel macchiato. If it's a free refill for that, that's fantastic news. And it said that customers must order their drink for here to get the free refill. And I'm glad, you see, you might think that this is like crazy that they have to specify everything. But no, someone will take their cup, go leave the establishment, come back later on and be like, oh, here's my cup. I wanted a free refill. I got that earlier. So they have to be so careful. And the coffee can be served in a ceramic mug, glass, or clean personal cup that's brought by the customer. Here's the part here that I know it's going to ruffle feathers if it hasn't already. It says that the stores may call law enforcement. The code of conduct warns that violators will be asked to leave and says the store may call law enforcement if necessary. Starbucks said employees would receive training on enforcing the new policy. Yeah, y'all better roll out a serious campaign, let these people know, because a lot of people will say that they don't know. Yeah. Anyway, I don't have a problem with Starbucks doing this. I think it will, yes, I want it to be a community coffee house, as it says, or as the leadership says. I think that's a great thing. But I also want clean bathrooms. Okay? I don't want to walk into the bathroom and see poop smeared on the wall and hypodermic needles on the floor and see the evidence that you just took a whole bath in a sink. Okay? I don't. And I want to be able to have a seat because I'm a paying customer. What's wrong with that? Drop your comments down below. Let me know what you think about this policy. Do you think that this is a good thing for Starbucks? Do you think other companies are going to follow suit? Or do you think that this is just trouble for the coffee giant? Like they're entertaining trouble, like they're going to get in trouble because, you know, somebody's going to come along, most likely like a minority, and say that they have been targeted or this is discrimination because their staff is going to tell them that you cannot stay here without making a purchase. This just seems, if you're going to go into a restaurant, you make a purchase. Like, what are you there for? But this is what happens when you start. I know the company, like I said, had good intentions to foster this community where, like, listen, come on in. If you have, you sit down and plug up your computer. I always love that about Starbucks, but buy something. Why does a company have to tell you to buy something? Typical. Some people just want to get something for nothing. Drop your comments down below. If you found value from this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel get discovered in the analytic machine. Share this video with friends and family members. Also subscribe if you like the content. And like I say, and I also have to give this caveat. I know some people are like really quick to subscribe because they like that something I'm saying in the moment, but don't be so quick to subscribe. Subscribe if you've been here for a minute and you really do enjoy my content, because I tell you, there's nothing that annoys me more than people who subscribe off of one video and unsubscribe off of the next one. Just take your time. It's like a date. Don't fall in love with me on the first date. You know, everything is great on the first date. Let's date for a few months and see if you still like me. And if you do, then, go ahead and subscribe. Also, if you want to contribute to this channel and keep it independent, please go down in the description box. You'll also see QR codes on the screen where you can buy me a coffee, which I love. So I can go to Starbucks and I don't have to sit in there without buying something while I plug up my laptop. I'll see you guys in my next video. I love you. Bye.